That's sick. Wow. Good dynamics.
Dao Lang!
Out of nowhere, this man has absolutely made a comeback. In 2023, of course, as you all know, he came back with Strange Tales from a Mountain Village, which we absolutely loved. We will be reviewing 2 songs which we haven't and have become actually the most popular out of that project, which is the Demon Flower, the Flower Demon, and the Piang Piang. Very popular songs from a man that was labeled an internet singer and a countryman that could never break into the pop mainstream.
We're gonna use our professional ears to find out why.
She's pretty. I love this guy.
Cool progression.
Cool. Well, EQ.
That's so cool.
Hey, why the hell all his musicians so pretty? I love an edit. That's sick.
So awesome. So awesome. So cool.
That's how you use technology. It's the correct usage of it. But he's very fucking alternative, isn't it?
Completely.
Dude, where's she even looking? There's nothing.
I know.
She's memorized every centimeter.
And it's so accurate. It doesn't slide. It's so... The erhu is a fascinating instrument. That's so cool.
Yeah, I like that he's gone this way. I like that he's gone this way,
It's
honestly.
incredible. Awesome. Okay, I'll explain to you why I particularly think this is so incredible. The idea of creating a folkloric style inspired song, but in a
Jiangnan
way,
folk.
but in a way that is so easily accessible for today's climate of pop music, because this is creative, but it's musically stimulating, and it doesn't go through to the extreme of being musicians' music that is unaccessible for the wider majority, which is the reason why a lot of like really cool alternative artists are like fall through the cracks, because they can't make it commercially, because they lack melody, they lack continuity, and that's something that is very prevalent in this particular track.
Marketability, you know.
Yes.
Marketability is tough. It's a really difficult conundrum for artists to understand, because you want to make music that makes you happy, and you also want to make music that represents the best you can, the artistic expression you wanted to do originally. But at the same time, it's like
You also have to sell.
yeah, and I
Unfortunately.
think that's why this comeback was so interesting for him, because he's like experimenting enough to like make your clogs in your brain.
Go, ooh, that's different.
nice.
That's nice.
And it utilizes tech in a way that's really unique. The synths and the way his voices are equalized with that double and that metallic effect and all the effects that he's got on his voice, and there's layers. It's awesome in that sense. It does mix in Jiangnan folk, Mingqing era tune of the Meng Jiangnu and the Yu opera influences.
Nice.
But this is a little bit more haunting, more sorrowful, rather than the original Yu opera style, which would have been a maximal expression of that emotion. This is way more alternative, and again ballsy, because this would be so easy to criticize if you're utilizing influences from different things.
Yeah, it could be borderline blasphemous
Right.
to the original.
So the Flower Demon is adapted from Pu Songling's Strange Tales from a Chinese studio,
Cool.
but Dao Lang completely reimagined the original to create essentially a new story. During the Southern Song Dynasty, a poor scholar of Hangzhou falls in love at first sight with a wealthy young lady, and they secretly pledge themselves to each other. When the lady's father learns of this, he flies into a rage and secretly has the scholar killed. The scholar's clothing is stained red with blood. Overcome with grief, the lady takes her own life. Typical story, where fucking everyone dies. The two arrive in the underworld, the realm of the dead in Chinese mythology. The king of hell, moved by the depth of their love, permits them to be reincarnated so they may reunite. However, the compass classic that governs the cycle of reincarnation is set incorrectly. Although they both reincarnated in Hangzhou, they are born in different historical periods.
That's crazy. That's so unfair. What a tragedy. Nobody gets a happy ending ever.
Thus, for thousands of years, they circle endlessly, never to be able to meet each other.
Nah, that sucks.
Finally, the lady decides not to be reincarnated again, instead turning to dust and remaining in the mortal world, so that when the scholar passes by his next reincarnation, he can smell the unique fragrance of her rouge in the wind and feel her presence.
Guys, that is awful story. I mean, it's incredible material to create a song from.
It's
let's be honest.
exact same place, fucking separated by centuries. That stuff, and that's why the lyrics go: "I am the tears drifting on the annual rings. You can still smell the rouge in the wind. If I were to carve the promise on the riverbank, a river cold water, moonlight flooding the city. I've waited for you so long under this tree of time. The worldly ones pester me, slander me, laugh at me as my hair turns white." There's also a big, it's a big discrepancy amongst the fucking common pop song that goes viral and what Dao Lang is doing.
Yeah,
Just the source material is different league.
Yeah. Major differences in terms of like poetry and lyricism and the approach alone, because you have such a rich historical foundation.
Which proves our point that we think if you're willing to be a madman, which I think that Dao Lang is, and you're willing to go all in into your art and forget about the market aspect of it, and you just focus on making the best possible art you can, I think it will most likely resonate. If you focus on quality rather than marketability, and to a certain extent, his team has done an incredible job. Dao Lang's team has done an outstanding job. The marketing, the production, it's been really well done. But
It's sort of tailor made for him too. It's
that's not his
something-
job.
Exactly. What I love about his team and the production behind his image is that it has sort of assimilated to what already existed. It didn't try to change who he was as an artist, because I think he had a lot of time experimenting what he could make.
Well,
and then sort of
I think it was possible that he just, but I think it's possible that he just couldn't come back, like
he
thought he wouldn't be able to be successful again. That's fair.
And some of the times that's actually the reason why these songs are actually good, because they're not basking on, they weren't born out of the need for popularity.
The next song is Pian Pian. This was written, composed, and arranged by him.
We love when that happens.
And he borrows the mode of traditional Chinese narrative singing called Dao Qing, which unfolds his lyricism with a light, agile, modern, ancient style arrangement accompanied by bass, electric guitars, synthesizers, and bamboo flutes.
Yeah, I love this atmosphere already.
Shit!
Cool tempo. Nice time signature.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
What a guy!
This is fucking music, bro.
Fantastic equalization. This is so cool.
Bro, it's like jazzy. It's like fucking...
That's so cool. That's so cool.
You need people like him in the industry.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. Oh, it's satisfying to listen to great musicians.
Wow.
Cool.
Good dynamics.
Nice. I would be counting if I was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I would be counting the whole time in my head. So cool, so cool, so cool. awesome.
This one's complex as fuck.
Yeah, this one is very hard.
But I understand why people love it.
It's so impressive that has actually made it into such a mainstream
Popularity.
popularity.
That's
because
sick.
The foundations of it are already intricate. So if you're taking principles of like traditional Chinese narrative and then you're bringing them into music with a time signature that is incredibly difficult to grasp at first, I think it's such a cool...
That's
it is
sick.
a testament, I think, to the level of education, no, but like...
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Of
Literacy.
like, yeah,
Musical
of-
literacy.
Correct, of actually appreciation of this type of music, because even if you're a casual listener in China, I think you're exposed to different things that people in the West wouldn't even begin to understand.
I think it's because everything is based on emotion. So what emotion does something
Does it convey?
ignite?
Yes.
Yeah, and convey. And I think, like for example here, so Tao Qing was originally a form of sung storytelling used by Taoist priests in ancient China to tell stories and spread philosophical ideas. They were doing essentially sermons. Dao Lang used this as a foundation, layering on a light, agile modern ancient atmosphere to expand towards to expand on the song's lyrical expression. Piang Piang is a completely new interpretation. So the original story goes, a young man named Liu Shifu lost his parents as a child and was raised by his uncle. At age 14, someone took him in the red light district of a large city. He became addicted to that life, spent all his money within 6 months, contracted a severe venereal disease, and his body broke out in sores. Eventually, he is thrown out by the brothel, became a beggar, and had nowhere to go, and was at near death. Just as he was dying, he met a fairy named Piang Piang. Piang Piang, kind-hearted, took pity on him. She used mountain spring water to brew medicinal wine and cured his illness. She turned water into fine wine using a clay pot, and turned banana leaves into splendid clothing. The two lived together in a cave, had a son, and spent several years living like immortals. But Liu Shifu eventually missed his hometown and his uncle and insisted on returning. Piang Piang told him, "You carry the attachments of a mortal. You cannot become an immortal." Liu Shifu returned to the mortal world. Years later, missing Piang Piang, he went back to find her, but all he saw was withered yellow leaves on the ground, the cave entrance shrouded in white clouds, and the path to the fairyland nowhere to be found. Obviously, the moral of the story is...
Let go.
Yeah, literally.
Let go of your old
Your earthly little
earthling
needs.
desires,
Yeah.
needs.
So Dao Lang does not feel he doesn't completely follow the original story. Instead, he adopts the voice of someone who has experienced everything, blending the emotions of two ancient Chinese philosophical traditions, which is like the Buddhist compassion aspect of it, and then the Taoist transcendence aspect of it, which is a detached attitude, sees gain and loss slightly different and not bound by worldly desires. Thus, at the core of his song, life is like a dream. Wealth and glory are fleeting. Do not become obsessed with chasing illusions, and at the same time, there's no need to be overly attached to missing opportunities or losses in life. Face them with an open mind, which is essentially both Taoist and Buddhist mentalities philosophies turned into one. The lyrics go, "Who hasn't missed the drum core of the fourth watch? Someone always secretly stirs their hands in the mirror moon clock. Wine jars turn into silks and pavilions. Green bananas, red cherries, a solitary one who has passed through. Without walking the road of no return, the other sure flower won't bloom. Bitterness is only for the distant Changnan, collapsing on the jade terrace. Be aware of the flowing mirage that sells blooming stars. The distant Tianhe River, elegiasts flowing everywhere. Lan Kai He, drunk and singing with wine. Beauty fades quickly. In a blink, mulberry fields ripple with clear waves. She once crossed the wasteland 10,000 miles beyond the Milky Way. He once pierced the brilliant colors, then fell into the mortal world. Only the sleepless leaning on the railing and love-hate attachment. Clouds sway, rain scatters, all in the same cradle. The Handan dream, the same across ages. Glory fades easily, green mountains everywhere and here of graves. Laying Kanhei drunk and singing with wine, beauty fades quickly in a blink mulberry fields ripple with clear waves."
It's such an incredible interpretation of true ancient philosophies that are somewhat opposing in their foundations, and he has turned them into one, facing each other. He has actually made them into something that is compatible with one another.
It's also so interesting for example, for us to review this type of work. It's obviously my favorite part of our job because it is understanding cultural parables through musical notes, because there is a language barrier, and if there's a language barrier, we must go, other senses become heightened, especially since we've been doing this for such a long time.
Yes. You pay attention to other things, like the phonetics of the language or the composition in which the rhymes fall in the rhythm,
the musical modes they utilize, the chord progressions they decide
the
to
time
use,
signatures and the telling of melody. I think a lot of these things, people, when you understand the lyricism, you take the rest of the embellishments for granted.
Correct.
So when you take one of those senses, if you will, musical senses away, the others become the foreground of the experience.
They really do, and like this is so oddly melancholic, and there's strange compositions. Like there's like a weird air of strangeness. Honestly, that's like a really good word to say to utilize there, because this is unlike anything that's either going inside the industry in China or outside of China. And there's an air of uniqueness, and an air, again, it's like strangeness. There's something in the air when these songs play.
But it moves you regardless, and you're completely enthralled by this magical swaying and pulling of the tempo.
Which is the job of an artist.
Yes.
That's what swaying the brush on an empty canvas was meant to be like.
Yes, and you know what I actually think this particular song, Pian Pian, actually does really well, is that it lulls you into this air of magical land. Like you actually detach yourself from this reality, which I think it's so incredibly well composed.
Just through the composition, the musical composition, without the lyrics, it does that. And then when you add the lyrics and the context,
like you stepped into a different dimension.
It's like a sci-fi movie,
and
a historical movie.
And they didn't do anything visually to aid that.
No.
The video is actually pretty simplistic
Very
in its
simplistic.
approach.
It knows where the money is at in the bank. If you get what I'm trying to say, it understands that its value is actually visually in its simplicity, but auditory in its
the yumminess.
It's so thick and full of flavor,
and so satisfactory.
And I think you need individuals like this in the industry. You need the Dowlangs. You need
creative and daring.
You need the pure artists.
Yes.
They are missing and decaying and dying.
But this is a statement that people still champion this, and then people still appreciate this artistry. So let's continue to support him. He's awesome.